Save my progress, save my progress, save my progress. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm so sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. It's not like everyone's heard about these killings but me. All I wanted Dark to become convicted so badly, sorry. Wow. That's why he used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean what happened to you? It's all in the files. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with these killings, Emma? On the night the prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother Neil was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was witness in the Joe Dark trials. Didn't see that one coming. I actually read that, but okay. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year too. It was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the reason. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. And suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seems like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. Before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out suddenly. A bolt of lightning flashed inside the window, lighting up the office of an instant. What I saw burned into my permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture. I remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall, so you weren't able to testify about that. No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted a guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm not sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. It's true, even though they may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, I wasn't cradling you. Lana was cradling me in her arms. Or am I? I've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. When it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I became a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crimes with my testimonies and find evidence that make it an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's been puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? No, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken for questioning? You mean for the police? Of course, this happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to his sister's office? Because the detective office and the questioning room are right across the room, right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator. But Lana's was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, she's silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talk with her. Let's go then! We still have time. Yo, Lana! Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why would we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you, oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right, prosecutioner office. Would you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. It's right to be right! A lot of revelations were uncovered in the Dre's trial, not the last of which was the fact that the case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, thought I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. The trial really wasn't fair, wasn't it? I believe in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, you will always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Lana. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, I'll drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. What about you stabbing Goodman with a knife? Lana, I don't understand. Why wouldn't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. Oh, sorry. Need to scratch. I don't think I ever seen Lana so phased before. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. We still talk about the cases she and Chief Grant cracked together. Chief Grant? He was the deputy chief police back then, but he still worked at the crime scenes. Diamond Grant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filled. Emma really idolized her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I was planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you would use the experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to this resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation. 2 years ago, I was in second in command of the detective's investigation Dark. Second in command, that means the investigation had led was Diamond Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led to a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was a serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place, when he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Diamond Grant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. Investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down and fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. I'm gonna call him Grant, it's easier than Gant. So you were the first person running to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filling some papers while Grant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Yeah, that's a bit weird though. That picture is a bit weird. He's underneath and the knife is on top. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma who had passed out, and the suspect Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems that Mr. Marshall struck the final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma and carried her out of the room and just held her. Can't blame her after all. Her system must have gone through, whoa. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, isn't it? I don't buy it. What are you saying? There is no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident, just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his action came as a surprise for me as well. Ever since his brother died, it changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced that with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Diamond and Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief office. Maybe we should have a look in it at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Well, let's go and check then. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kinda quiet here today. You're right, Chief Detective seems the same though. Why don't we look for some other people to talk to? Right, we can come back here later. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned up this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera. You never know when life led you, eh, Bambina? I should know, my bad. My luck had run out when our village dried up this morning. Really? Must be his pest cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know he won't be coming back. So sorry, but you can't go into the evidence room today, partner. But Miss Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case, I need to know the truth about it. What was that one? Before you turn yourself in, Miss Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either, all the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. You mean the switchblade and knife with a broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. question. The blade of the victim was not perfect match with the wound of the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means it's a good chance that the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been raised. Been concealed with forced evidence. That case left behind scars on all of us. Scars that SL9 instead left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was the one best prosecutor around. He was made detective when he went down. This is our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor, you mean the king of prosecutors? I knew it. What they were looking at me like that for? As an honor for prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close to his brother. The day of the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right, it was the day the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning and my knife folder was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered. The evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about the Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough to not to be too obvious, eh? What are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Investigator lead Damon Gant and his second in command Lana Sky. There wasn't a person in the force who wouldn't have heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged that to happen. She never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. How did you mention it? Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret's too well guarded. I never found out. Lena's secret, it all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one more thing for sure. I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him the evidence, planned everything. And that someone is Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Checking my stream. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. I'm leaving for West. This place is always pretty empty, but today's deserted. That must mean that everyone's busy with solving crimes. Or if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Oh, thanks. Wow, we actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying that what she did and the decision about what to do, about Mr. Edgeworth not to be mentioned, or statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. So we'd like to have a look around Chief Grant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Yeah, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. That's nice. That's just nice. Bloody hell. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what we're waiting for? Let's head to Chief's office. Let's go down check. Wow! Bloody hell. I would like this as an office though. That would be nice. At the same time, if I would have an office, it would be something like this, as you can see, or making games. So I don't see a use for it, but why the frick not? Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what I said at the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Yeah, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Bach. I thought it was... Oh. Oh, talk about sound. I never could remember where C was. Hmm? Oh god, you... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put the paper he was reading in his desk. So, right, have you been swimming lately? What is with you and swimming? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, it means about forged evidence. 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See the big picture on the wall over there? It's still broken, is it? I'm gonna check something here. No, wait a second! There should be a sword in there! Oh! Marshall did say that the cut was not from the knife. But at the same time, we do have that big armor there as well. So this is Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it. Well, I can! And I just did. There's the bloody big sword that is missing. Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there's some matters that need to attend my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case was long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out of here. I have a meeting to attend. Actually, I saw the armor back there as well. Looks like we are welcome. It seems that the case isn't over with it yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us to look around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way to get inside the chief's office. Just gonna scoot at me. Oh. Hey pal, Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I am just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving our own coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe is still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecution's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world in his blood. Yikes. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Now Sky is the guilty part here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they can present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumor going around about Mr. Edgeworth. amazing talents to prosecute to keep him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, it's only those with talents right to the top. Miss Edgeworth not only has that, it is young. There's no better recipe in I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work, oh goodness sake. Why? Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. It's my treat. Yes, sir. Gotta take me back to that joint sometimes, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Well, yeah, be careful not to stick out. I know I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a lot look at the filer while the coffee was brewing. This is genuine concern for Edgeworth. Well, did you find anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack, you mean? When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. Some girl. Me. Is it even gum she never realized Emma was the girl? That one he left the most incriminating evidence at all for all. Well, what was it? Let's see. I think it was something to do with the murder weapon. I forgot. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powerful recollection never fails to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Darkest crimes. Joe Dark was at 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. Businessman? What made him take serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it was transformed into an animal. He killed a man that witnessed the accident. And he killed a lady who saw it. A kid walked just by then, so killed him too. Then a jogger came up on the scene and was killed as well. Finally turned himself in. So he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is just all a conjecture. There wasn't any single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. Last witness, aka Emma. Whoops. Sorry, I double-clicked there. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 sent on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing? What are you doing with that? Ever since our case was closed, the knife has been locked away in a locker. On the day of Detective Goodman's murder, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it came back to me. Well, what was it, detective? Quick, before you forget again. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he brought it, plus it had his fingerprint on it. But no one actually witnessed him using the murder weapon, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you see it's broken. You didn't have to take a good look to know that. Yeah, well anyway. Take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match the Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. It's pretty conclusive. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I see one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief is out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around in this and if it's okay. Well, any detective ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I left a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I will be canned. Oh, sorry pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day I died. Oh, so in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting to that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. I don't know really. But to be honest, I'm gonna end the stream here. Not because I do end my stream after 3 hours. I know it's not fully 3 hours, but that's because I'm shit tired. And I do want to thank you two people, Shank HD TV, to following, and also Specchi and Riley for following today. Minutes of stream as well. That was nice. Hopefully that was actually shown because I could not see that. Because I was doing with my old stuff here. Else, if you do want to like this channel, do check out the following button up top somewhere there. Else, if you do want to support the channel even more, do check out my support link down below, somewhere around there. It will lead you to my Streamlabs site, where you can check many different stuff actually about this little channel. And if you don't want to waste money on supporting this channel, I do recommend you go down to the loot link down below, where when I'm streaming you can actually send a message that will be showing up on stream. You can write whatever you want for now, because I don't really have a more or less anything you can want to write right now. But anyway, it's there. That will be supporting me, but it doesn't cost you anything. The only thing you have to do is go to loots.com and make an account, and then you can just go to my loot jar while I'm live. It only works while I'm live, not otherwise. And then check it out. So that was about it. This was today's stream. It was both crazy and calm because I was up to 2 this night photographing Starfall. I think I missed them though. I did not miss them. I watched them. I could see them, but my camera missed them. I might have actually gotten some. Uncertain. It was a bit blurry, the first pictures. Else, I hope you people have it great out there. So good day or good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.